When we are driving and those lights come on, most drivers have the universal response to pull over. But what comes next is far from universal.
Being pulled over by police was what I would like to call a cultural norm.
Isaiah Thomas grew up in a world where many of his life decisions were guided by this very scenario.
We would purchase our car based on the likelihood of being pulled over or not being pulled over. The amount of people you would drive with would be predicated on this idea of not wanting to get pulled over.
It's why last year, when he was elected as a council member at large for the city of Philadelphia, he campaigned on the platform that he'd change it.
We feel like an entire generation can be changed as it relates to their perception of law enforcement and law enforcement relations.
Last week, Philadelphia became the first major city in the country to ban police from pulling over drivers for these low-level traffic infractions, which alone used to warrant a stop. It's to reduce the profiling Black men and women and other drivers of color say they face daily across the country.
Their job as public servants are to try to reduce crime, so on occasion they pull people over in a traffic stop to try to see if they can get something probable cause to search the car.
Stacey Hervey is a criminal justice professor and says data proves what Black men and women have long suspected. They're pulled over at a disproportionately higher rate than white drivers. An analysis of 14 years of traffic stops by the University of South Carolina shows Black drivers are 63% more likely to be pulled over than their white counterparts, and they're 115% more likely to be searched during that stop, even though data shows contraband, like illegal guns or drugs, are found more often when a white driver is searched. It's one of the many reasons why another study of 95 million traffic stops by Stanford University concluded that police stops and search decisions suffer from persistent racial bias.
Our past and how we were raised really does impact what we do, and I think is the more we realize that as a society and in police departments, the better off we're all going to be and the better off police officers are going to be.
In August, the city of Minneapolis proposed adopting similar measures that would ban traffic stops on certain grounds. And the state of Virginia did something similar in March, when it said law enforcement could no longer stop drivers for a non-illuminated license plate, broken brake lights, or tinted windows.
I think the main goal in passing this legislation was to put us in a position where we can address the issue of driving while Black.
Philly's new law won't go into effect for another 3 months, but once it does, Councilman Thomas hopes its adoption becomes more universal nationwide. I'm Dan Grossman.